Hey guys, I'm here with another episode of All Things Altered, and don't let the tissue box that I've been using for the past 4 weeks fool you. This is not at all about a tissue box. It's about a paper towel box, and I made a waterfall flip with a paper towel box, but I did run out of paper towel box, so I started using tissue box again. So what I want to do is break it down for everybody so that they can understand. It took me all day and videos that I've been watching probably for months to figure out how to do it. And now I have the method down, and it is, I said, it's so easy, it's so easy, it's so easy. Hopefully what I show you, you can follow along with it, and I'll start from scratch, but I just want to show you how the components can be easy, okay? So you literally need, let's pretend, 3 main pieces, okay? You need a super long tag looking piece, okay? Just ignore what it looks like for now. It obviously is a tissue box. A piece that is shorter, but is wider. Doesn't have to be that much wider. Doesn't matter. It just has to be wide enough for you to secure this piece on it. So those are the 3 main components. So I'm going to show you how to put it together and how to do it. Basically, what you have to do is take this piece when it's done, and you put this on here and fold it. And then you go over here and you tack it down, and that becomes the pool. And that's where people started to lose me, right? Because either A, it was already done, or B, you just flipped all those things around and totally confused me. So I'm going to start over again from the beginning and show you what you need. So you actually do need, and it's up to you how many you want to do. In this case, I just have 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of, you want to use as thick a paper as you have, both for this piece and for these, because it's a mechanism. So I noticed that when I did it first with this piece, the corners of the top piece, when I pull it, are starting to bend on the first and third. So it's a doubled over piece of paper, and that just wasn't enough. I mean, maybe cut in a different shape, or you know, in a different way. And also the same with my mechanism. I noticed it wasn't strong enough and I made too many folds. So what I did was, see the extra folds in here? They shouldn't be there. And there was one here. So I doubled up on my papers from my box. So anyway, long story short, if you want to see how to make a waterfall journal thingamabob, and as easy as I can make it, because otherwise I won't know how to make another one, and I plan to make more, then you can keep watching. All right? Bye. Okay, first things first, you need a long tag looking thing. So here's my piece of paper. It is upcycled from a napkin. And I will cut this and then come back. Just if you guys are curious, this piece actually does measure around 8.5 inches, a little over 8.5 inches. Again, it doesn't matter. It just needs to be long. Rather have longer than not. That was about as long as I could get with the pieces that I have, so that's why mine is 9. And if you notice, it does matter the size of your pieces here. If your pieces are huge, you're going to need to go up to like 12 or something. But I can make do with 9 for what I'm doing here. So let me cut a big long tag, so to speak, and I will be right back. Okay guys, so I cut out my piece. I just left my top a little bit pointier. It really doesn't matter. And you can see I wrote back and front on it. So I'm going to tell you what that means. So when you have the mechanism, it's going to be folded. And I'm not doing that fold yet. But when it's folded, you're going to see all this stuff on the front. Okay? And that's how it looks. And then when you flip it over, that's going to be your back. Okay, so that part you're not going to see, and this part you are. I got it wrong several times, which is why there's gesso on here, and there needs to be other stuff on here. So what I'm going to do is, let's do it again. Let's take this piece, and I told you long tag. Start with long tag, okay? All right, and then when it's folded, this is all going to be on the front, okay? And this is on the back, okay? So again, if you take the piece that you have, that's the top, and you're going to fold it, then this is the back and this is the front. This is where the pieces are going to go, and this is going to be the back, okay? And that's important only if you have special paper or something, but I think it's definitely something to mention to you there. So again, this will be the back, this will be the front. And if you flip it over, okay, again, this part is the front, and then this part is the front. The flap, and I can just fold it, but I have to put the thing in the cradle. That's going to be there. So let me put my phone in the cradle and I'll be right back. All right, so I know we have a little bit of a different camera angle, but hopefully you can bear with me. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to open it back up tag style, okay? This is the back, this is the front, okay? So let's flip them over and let's give a fold. We're going to do this fold right here, okay? So again, let's line them up. And you won't have anything to line up, and yours might be different in size, but we're going to fold it towards you. Okay, let's just say fold it towards you, okay? All right, so now you have your two pieces. We know this is going to be the back. We know this is the back, and you can take the crease and you can crease that real good. All right, now let's open it back up and look at them, okay? So now I'm going to do, let's turn them back if you want to turn them back and look. I did 4 here. So I need 4 places for these guys to live. So if you hide and look under here, each one of these guys has a fold where he lives. Okay. All right. And I forgot these weren't double-sided, so I have some work to do here too. But anyway, I digress. So you need a fold. You have your first fold. That's where the first one's going to go. You need a fold for your second one. So let's go ahead and do that. You can do it as big or as small as you like. I recommend smaller rather than bigger. So just take an amount and fold. Okay. Try to fold straighter than me. Once you get the first one, then you kind of have your spacing for the rest of them. Okay, so I just folded it in. If you want to, you can fold it up like this and work on your crease. All right, so now again, here's where we're at. You have your 2 pieces, tag side up. You have 1 fold here for your first one. You have 1 fold here for your second one. 1 fold here for your first one. 1 fold here for your second one. Now, so you can see, and it's easy to do, why don't we bring it over here, and you're going to fold up again, and you can just use your other piece that you did as your guide, okay? And then I'm just going to take it and fold it under, just to make the crease, okay? So now, let's go back again, all right? Go back again. We have our first fold here. See it? First fold here. We have our second fold here. Our second fold here. We have our third fold here. We have our third fold here. And then we're going to need 1 more. All right. So then just take it again, any way you're comfortable to, so you can see where the other fold was. That's my easiest way to non-measure. Okay. And then you're going to make that crease there, just like you did all the other times. And if you want to, you can bend it backwards just to make that crease. Good. I'm going to try not to flip this around on you, because when people did that to me, it drove me insane. All right. So let's go back and review. Tag side up, just like you would put any sort of tag for junk journal. You'd put the hole in there and call it a day. All right. It's a strip. And you have 1 line, 2 lines, 3 lines, 4 lines, okay? So here's your first line. Here's your first line. Here's your second line. And there's your second line. Here's your third line. And here's your third line. And here's your fourth line. And here's your fourth line. Okay? And then to go back down. Now, what you need to do is decide what you want to put on these pieces and what you want to be on the top. Now, for this, I just used the Dear Dragonfly, and it was a really cool kit by Nonstop Paper Crafts, but I don't have any more of it printed. I did actually print it on one of these, so I can either go run upstairs and do that or look for something here. I think I'm going to go run upstairs and do it because I don't have any more good pictures of anything here. So I'm going to do that, and I'll be right back. All right, I lied to you. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to make hearts, and then we can always decorate them later. It's a little harder to do once it attached, but it's not impossible. So I'm just going to take this scrap piece that I had when I was trying to make this and kept cutting it shorter and shorter, and I'm just going to literally cut 4 hearts. Okay, it's a good rule of thumb to try to keep this as wide as this. If not, please make sure whatever you're cutting your shapes out of or whatever you have, again, make sure it goes all the way to the end so it can be supported. Otherwise, you're going to get this deal and this problem like I have in this one, where the pressure is going on to these weak ends of the paper. So it's not ideal. You know, it flips down okay, then you force it back up, and then after time, maybe after time it gets better, I don't know. It's relatively new, it just dried. So if you want it to be more exact, if you're sewing it or have really strong glue or are bonding the edges in some way, then don't worry about it. So I'm just going to make some hearts. I'm going to make 4. I'm going to try to make them the same size. So I'm just going to fold this piece in half and cut. And I'm going to see if I have enough when I fold the halves in half to make big enough hearts. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. All right. So I don't think I can cut through 4 pieces, so I'm just going to make hearts. All right. You can just use pieces of paper. You don't have to worry about, you know, you can make a square. You can do anything you want. If you have die cuts and knock yourself out, you can do this with anything you want to do. I'm just kind of upping my game a little bit because I just want to make it fancy. All right, so that's 1 heart. That's 2 hearts. To try to keep them the same. Let me turn it this way so I can see and you can see. I'm going to just go along here. I know I need to cut that smaller, but just to get the shape. In and out. And then I'm going to go around and down. Okay. All right, now we're going to fix them because they look a little wonky. Just going to trim along here. I'm trying to limit folds because I don't want to have extra creases in it that don't have anything to do with the mechanism. Again, I'm not, even on camera, I'm not the straightest cutter and I'm not the best measurer, so I try not to do either. So here's the 4 hearts, okay? And what basically they're going to do is the same thing that these sheets do. They're going to overlap on top of each other, and each one's going to get glued to the top of the line, okay? And you don't have to glue it all the way, just only glue it to the bottom of the before the next bend, and don't exceed the top there. So anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick my favorite heart. Doesn't matter. Guess that's that one. You can see how they would like look stacked on each other if you want. And you could go down like that. So I like that. And I actually like the color. So I'm going to leave them as my top. Okay. All right. So I'm going to take just a little glue stick for now. I would recommend when you do this, use something a little stronger than glue stick. but I just want to be able to have it dry quick, and I want you to see what's going on. All right, let me just, I'll glue stick on the back. So I'm just gonna, you can either glue stick on it or you can glue stick on there. And again, see that line? We don't want to exceed that line. We want to make sure it bends. So you can fold it and see it does. So you just push it down. Make sure whatever you have glued doesn't exceed that and doesn't exceed this. Okay? And it just moved on me. All right. All right. So again, all we did, and we're not going to do it that way again because that's just annoying. All we did was take the heart to the first line, just like this is a line, our first fold, and we glued it just here. So we're going to do it different for the second one. Maybe this will be easier for you. So then take the first one and now flip it up, okay? So now you're just on the line, on another line. You're on the second line. So basically what you're doing is you're making the second one here, all right? So take your second heart, and let's just do it easy. Let's just run the glue here, okay? I'm going to take the heart and we're going to press it down here and make sure it doesn't exceed the top. And you want to, while you still can, if you want, you can flip it back down and make sure that it looks like even to you. Because with me, I could go off on a tangent, but that looks pretty good. All right. Just going to press it down. Okay, so now we're on the second one and the glue doesn't exceed the bottom and we don't stick up at the top. All right, so now we want to do the third one. Same procedure. Let's just flip this up or push it up. I guess you could say that. All right, we're gonna, it's easy enough just to do it here. So we're just gonna run the glue here. And I got some here, so I'm gonna wipe that away. All right, and then you push your heart up to the top. Don't let it go past that line, even if it wants to. Okay, and then check on the bottom. It doesn't exceed the bottom. All right, so now you have 1, now you have 2, and now you have 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, so now do you like the way they look? Do they line up? Are they okay? They're okay. Okay by me. All right, now you want to take the fourth one and you're going to do the same thing. So you're going to just run a glue across here. And you're going to take the fourth one. Make sure it doesn't go past this top line. Okay. And in this case, there is no bottom line. So you don't have to worry about it. All right. So there are your 4. Actually, I'm going to scooch this one over a little. All right. So now you have your 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Again, if you want to ink around this to make it really look like a heart or something like that, you totally can. Again, just make sure every time you fold it down, if you look, it doesn't exceed the top. Okay? All right, so now let's open it back up again, tag style, like we started. We're going to keep going back to where we started just to make sure everything goes okay. All right? So that's the basics of how you build the mechanism. So now what you need is, you need a piece a little bit bigger and a little bit shorter than it. This is going to be the back, okay? So I'm going to cut a piece that's a little bit wider than it, but a little bit shorter than it. Just make sure that it's longer than when you fold it on that fold. Excuse my cuckoo clock. Because it's going to be the back to the mechanism, so you want to be a little bit bigger. All right, but we're going to go back again, tag style, okay? I'm going to put these aside. Let me cut that piece and I will be right back. Okay, so now I have cut a piece, not too precisely because that would be me. And you can see it still came from that paper, they call it paper wiper, basically paper towel. And now this folded is obviously, that's plenty of room. You have plenty of room for you want to embellish, to do anything you want to do on here. Or not. And then this back you won't ever have to worry about, because this back will be what you attach to your journal. If for some reason you want it freestanding, I don't know, you'd have to hold on to the thing the whole time. But anyway, so there you go. It's definitely wider, way wider, and it's definitely bigger, especially when folded in half. Okay, All right, so now, and then I have the one over here, again, that I was using as my example. I'm recording this for me as much as I am for you, believe you me. So now we need a piece that is wider than your, I'm going to call it your tag, long tag piece, okay? It doesn't have to be as wide as your piece here, but it absolutely can be. And I kind of like that idea because when you, if you want to cover up the back, you know, maybe it's something that, maybe I guess you could have it, you know, be something that flips in a journal. As long as your paper is sturdy enough, maybe if this is chipboard, I don't even know what chipboard is, but if it's something super strong, you could. So maybe I will. I'm going to cut mine to the length across of this, and it doesn't really have to be that thick. If you want to, you know, why don't you make it just a little bit bigger than one of your folds that you made, or the same size. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, you know, you don't have to go crazy, but I would just say that. So why don't I just do that while you're here? I have plenty of scraps here, and this came from this because I cut it off of this, so it's the same size. I wish I had something pretty on it because I would have kept it. But did I think that far ahead? No. All right, so what did I say? I said, hey, maybe use the size of one of your folds, and I don't know if you can see that or not, so maybe that's about down to there. I'm going to cut it a little thicker because I have cutting problems when I go straight. It doesn't ever seem, that's pretty straight. Wow. Oh, it's a little bit off. Okay. See, what I do is I keep cutting it straighter and straighter and straighter. It gets crookeder and crookeder and crookeder and smaller. And sometimes it's just hard to tell. So, again, this part doesn't have to be perfect either, which means it's a good craft for me. All right, so now we have this piece, and it is as long as this piece is, and it's almost as big. It's a little bit wider. Not wider. Yeah, it's wider than one of our folds. Okay, so if you want to look at it that way. Okay, but you can, you know, again, flexibility here. You can make it smaller as long as it's strong enough and whatever. So, all right, and then that would be, this one is way too long for this, obviously. You can cut it later if you want to, instead of cutting it now. You can do whatever you want to do. All right, so, I don't even know if that was on camera. Now what you're going to do is, you're going to take your tag and fold it backwards in half. Not in half, on your first fold. Okay, just plop it down. Take your tag, fold it on your line, on your first fold that you did, plop it in half. Plop it in half. I keep saying half. I don't mean half. All right, and we're going to put it down here. Again, this is super huge for this, and it doesn't need to be that way. All right, so now what you're going to do is tricks, okay? You're going to take this thing back up, and you're going to open it so now your tag is upside down. Okay, hang in there with me. All right, so we're going to open the other one. I don't know if you can see it. So your tag is upside down, and you're going to take this and you are going to actually glue it to the back of the bottom. Okay, so it's going to be like that. Back of the bottom. Okay, so again, tag, bottom, back of the bottom. Okay, if you want to look at it like this, you can look at it like that. Okay. All right, I don't want to lose you, so I'm going to put you on pause, and I'll be right back to see if there's any other way I can describe it to make it better. Matter of fact, let me move these out of the way. So in this piece, okay, this piece is totally done, and this is the pull feature, right? Okay, all right. So if I were to, I'm going to just pull it out. Doesn't mean anything, right? Okay. This was obviously the back because you couldn't see it. And this was the front, you could. And you can still see the rough edges from the thing. So you can see that it is glued to the one on the bottom. See, right at the bend. Okay? All right? So, put this back. That's why it's always fun to keep an example and why I'm trying to do it multiple times today. And I said, you better record it because you're going to forget. And I wanted to do it with multiple shapes and multiple things and whatever. So, all right. So what we're going to do again, I said we're going to glue it to the back of this guy and right up against that line. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to use this for now. Go back later and make it fancy. Actually, I kind of like it the way it is. And again, this is going to be the back and this is going to be the front. So that's just why I have it this way. All right. I don't know if you can see that line or not, but anyway, so I'm gluing it just right there. And let me see if I can kind of pretend that this piece is down and kind of center it. It doesn't matter where on it is. Let's see. What is this called? Glue stick is not very strong, so bear with me. All right, so again, I'm going to glue it down. Again, it's on that, well, I can't really bend it that way because the heart's there, but it's on that last bend. It's up as far as it can go, okay? All right, let me give it a second to bond. All right, I'm going to turn it around. And again, we can adjust this later. But so it's on the back of this one, okay? And it's pretty much lined up so it's in the center. So I'm happy with that. So again, what you do is you take it this way on the back line. Here, we'll do it on this one. Turn the tag so you're looking at the back, right? Here's your backing. Find your last fold. Actually, we'll have to fold it up so you can see it. And you're going to take your piece. Might as well do it to this one too. Take your piece and you're going to glue it on the back there. Again, just like everything else, try not to exceed the part where it's at, okay? And then when you flip it over, it's going to look like this, okay? And you're going to move this in a second and you'll see how and you'll see why. All right. So we're going to go back to our original. All right. Let's go back to where we started. Tag side up, side up. Okay. We know this is going to be the back. We know these are going to be the front. You have your 4 folds with your 4 hearts on them. And now you just glue this piece to the back. Okay. Perfect. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to fold it in half. Not in half. You're going to fold it on the first line, okay? And you're going to look at your backing paper to see kind of where you want to secure it. All right? Now, I, at this point in time, am a little subconscious about the glue stick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you on hold and I'm going to actually go get the stapler because I know I'm going to cover this over anyway. So stick right there and I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. Looking at my heart and I was a little annoyed. I thought it exceeded the fold there. Anyway, as in an airplane, shifting can occur with contents within a bag. All right, so I'm gonna put it here. I have my trusty stapler and it doesn't really matter to me, but you know, front, back, it doesn't matter which way I'm gonna staple. I'm gonna staple it about here. This is the mechanism where you're gonna pull to do your heart. So if you want that hanging off the edge a little bit, you could put it down there. I myself, I don't care. I'm just going to put it up a little higher, then that way it's not just this weird thing hanging. If I want to later, I can always come back and cut that, or I can change the shape of the tag or the pull, whatever you want to say. And then I could always cut off of there if I want to too. But I kind of like the idea, and I'll try to show it to you. When you pull the tab, when you flip, I kind of like the idea of having it high enough up that at least that's covered. So, any hoodles. All right. so I digress. All right, so where were we? Do you remember? The last thing we did was take the tag side up, turn it over, and put this piece that's as wide as this and almost as thick as this on the back of here. We glued it right onto the back of our tag. Let's call it the back of our tag, the last line. Lined it up to the last line. Okay? Now we're going to fold it on the first line, and we're going to put it here, put it wherever you want to put it. Okay? And now I'm going to take my stapler, my trusty stapler, and I'm just going to go to the edge. And I'm going to go to the edge. Now, again, when you do this, if it's this far away from it, there is a chance that it will move. So if you want to do it closer together, that's totally fine. But you know, there shouldn't be too much shifting, but you know, you can go as far apart or as close as you want, but please give it room to move. Like I wouldn't put it right here. I would give it a little bit of room so it moves. Okay, so here are our hearts. All right, we folded it in half. All we did was staple on the sides. There's the backs of the staples to prove it, right? All right, and here's our guy, right? You pull it, you want to hold it here because this will be on something. And there's your 1 heart, your 2 heart, your 3 heart, and your 4th heart, okay? 4, 3, 2, and 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oop, come on, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And this will get easier as you do it and as the glue dries. When the glue is wet, I notice, especially with dealing with upcycled products, they've already been recycled before, so they can get kind of cranky, and they can actually start to degrade the packaging again. So that is my little way to do it. You can embellish, you can do whatever you want to. I won't do that on camera because that would take me 8 million years. But okay guys, I cut myself off because I was going on a rant and I started to work on the other one and I said, well, one was enough and the video is going to be way too long. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope that this is helpful. I know it will be to me. As soon as I put this down, I'll forget how I did it. And it was an adventure trying to figure out how to do it again. So I really do hope that you guys did enjoy this and that it's helpful to you. If you do it, let me know. I would love to see it. All right, take care. Bye.